What's up, everybody? Captain Eddie White from Catfishing Hardcore. This is our third edition. We didn't do one last week. We will skip next week as well. Last week because of the playoff game. Next week because of the Super Bowl. Chris Flores shot me over his DIY kit on how to build the drifting weights. And he's coming out with this now. It's a do-it-yourself. I don't know what it's going to retail for, but I'm going to show you guys how to put this together. A few simple things we're going to need: a pair of scissors, lighter, and a heat gun. Now, I haven't put one of these together yet, so you got to bear with me. Luckily, he includes a very detailed set of instructions to go with it. So, we're going to follow these instructions one by one. There's about 12 different directions on here. And we're going to see how it comes out. Pretty neat concept of what he does. I especially like that he adds foam so that it stands straight up when you're dragging. Let's see. First thing, cut flex material to desired length. Here's our flex material. This stuff's pretty neat. I kind of messed with it a little bit ago. If you stick your finger in it, it's actually like a Chinese finger trap. It gets stuck in there. I like to drift. When I drift, I like long weights. I don't know, anywhere between 18 and 20 inches. I'm going to kind of guess here. I'm going to cut that off. Says tip, use a lighter to slightly melt cut ends to avoid fraying. Got my lighter. We're going to burn a little bit here. Make sure everything's good and melted. Looks good. Step number 2, attach zip tie 1/4 to 3/8 inch from the end. So, looks like in this little package here, we have some heat shrink tubing, some swivels, snap swivels, and some zip ties. I'm gonna grab one of these out. Looks like about, I don't know, 3/8. Go ahead and cinch it down real good. So now I'm going to take and clip this off. It says step number 3, use lighter to melt the flex material together. So once again, let's light this. Melt it all together. I'd be careful not to touch. It's probably pretty hot. Burn you. While I do this, by the way, I don't have access to be able to answer questions. When I'm done with the video, if you leave a question, I will answer it immediately. Trim zip tie. I already beat him to it. Number 5, insert desired amount of weight and slide down to zip tie. So another thing he adds in his package are egg sinkers. Looks like they're all 1 ounces. Pretty simple. I like to drag with between 2 and 4 ounces. So I'm going to go with 4. Go ahead and slide these inside, top end. This material is pretty neat too, the way it stretches and then just wraps right around that. That was step number 5. We put in our desired amount of weight. Number 6, fill remainder of flex material with foam. Included is the foam. This is what's going to make it stand up when you're drifting, dragging, whatever you like to call it, whatever you like to do. Oh, that's a lot easier. Like I said, it's like a Chinese finger trap. Once you put it in there, stuff is stuck. I'm going to get that all the way down to the weight. Now that I got it all the way down to the weight, flip it over. Step number 7, cut foam 1 inch longer than flex material. Little guesstimate on 1 inch. Say that's about close. Gonna go ahead and cut that. Gonna push this down. And it says to attach another zip tie for step 8. So what I'm actually gonna do first, I'm gonna take my zip tie and get it ready. Because I have a feeling when I push this foam down, it might come back out. Got my foam down in there. And we're going to put my zip tie on. Use lighter to melt end. I'm going to go ahead and melt it again on the other side. See if we can get it all to fuse together. I think we did a pretty good job there. Again, don't touch it, it's hot. It's going to burn your fingers. Step 9. Oh, I got to go ahead and trim the end of this. Tap, zip, tie, and trim. Step number 9. Insert snap swivel through the flex material below the zip tie and close. Got my snap. It looks like probably about a 2-aught snap, I think. 1 or 2-aught. I'm going to take it, go right through our flex material like it says. Close it up. Place heat shrink tubing over flex material, leaving part of the snap exposed. That's number 10. Here's our heat shrink material. We're going to slide it over the swivel. In his direction, he's about yay far. Get my heat gun. Start going around till it starts fusing, starts melting. And then I'm just going to go around it as even as I can. I think that'll do it. That was actually step 11. Use heat gun to shrink tubing. Careful not to melt the flex material underneath it. Step 12. Place tubing over one weight. Use heat gun to shrink tubing. It's not fitting. So it says here, note, if weight does not fit into tubing, apply a small amount of heat to tubing to allow it to expand. So, get a little heat on it. Might not have been enough. Oh, just about. Do it one more time. You don't want to get it too hot because you don't want it to start contracting while you're trying to make it expand. So there we go. got it over a weight. We're going to take the heat gun, melt down the tip. And there we have it. One of the Muddy River drifting weights out of the DIY kit. Looking forward to using it. Want to thank Chris Flores for letting us do a video on it for him. I know he's released one in the past, but he just came out with this kit. What'd that take? 5 minutes? If that, to make that weight? And that was the first time I've done it. Rather impressed. I'm looking forward to dragging with this thing, as I know it's going to stay straight up. The instructions were very detailed, very easy to follow. And with the material, he didn't lack giving you an opportunity to make quite a few weights. Whether you want them small or you want them big. I still have probably about 10 feet of material left to be able to make more. Check them out, muddyrivercatfishing.com, facebook.com/muddyrivercatfishing. Chris Flores, again, we appreciate it. If anyone's interested, shoot Chris a message. I'm sure he's eager to sell them. I know he's supposed to have these at the Catfish Conference next month. We're looking forward to seeing them. We're looking forward to putting these to use, and we'll do a video in the future while we're on the water using these. As always, thank you for tuning in, and fish hard.